Hello boys and girls, this is Miss Duffy, and today we are going to be encoding Unit 4, Week 3, words that have the aw sound like paw. And here are two common spelling patterns for aw, A-U and A-W. We'll talk about a few more as we go on. Let's read through these words, read them several times so you can decode them. That will help you encode them later on. If you don't have a paper like this, you can just get a plain piece of paper and use your pencil or a whiteboard and a dry erase marker. Let's get started. This word is taught, hauls, caused, paused, squawk, drawing, crawl, flawless, lawn, salt, talked, hauls, water, bought, thoughtless. Make sure you can read all of those words. You can back the videotape up so that you can go through them again with me as many times as you need. All right, when we're encoding, we're gonna write by the syllable. This word is taught. So I'm gonna use these phoneme boxes to put a dot down and map out my word. This is taught. T, t. There's only 3 phonemes in here, so let's memorize that pattern. T is the T, and then the aw is A-U-G-H. There's your aw, and the G-H in some words is silent. That's a pattern you can start to recognize. Together, they're gonna say aw, and then the last sound is T. The next word is hauls, and this means like a tractor trailer. It hauls freight. But we're not going to sound out a suffix. So we're just gonna sound out haul. All. You can memorize that, right? You already know the H sound. Aw is the AU. Put them on the same phoneme box together. And then the L. And teacher will give you a sentence for that, like she hauls the tractor trailer from one state to another. You're gonna say hauls, and you're gonna put that suffix in a box. We don't tap it out, just the base word. See how I did that? Okay, the next word is caused. So we're gonna tap out cause, cause, cause. K. We like C to start words in English unless we can't because of a vowel, but in this word we can. Here's the aw, cause. S. Now the S is here, and there's an E. He is not a magic E. E has many jobs in English. We're gonna slip that E right in here. Cause, it's just keeping this S that has that rounded bottom upright. That's why they put the E's in there originally in a typeset. And this is caused. We would take off that E and add ED. So I'm gonna put this all in a box. Caused. See how I did that? I didn't need that E to be there again, so I would have crossed out that E and put ED on the end. That makes it caused. Past tense. This one, same thing, paused. I'm just going to do pause. And that means to wait for a moment. Pause. Only 3 phonemes here. Aw is the AU pattern. See how useful that is. S. And again, because of that rounded bottom, I'm gonna put the E, slip that E in here. They want past tense. She paused before entering the room. ED, I'm not going to put a dot there because I'm not sounding out my suffix. I had crossed out the E, and then I added ED. Okay, next section has aw as in AW. Another common spelling pattern in English. So this word is squawk, squawk, s. That's easy, you know that one. Q is QU, so that's the same phoneme right there, same bus seat I call it. Squaw. Here's the AW. And you might want to memorize that by heart, just by reading it. Now I know what it should look like. That's why I read it many, many times. And because this has aw, this variant vowel pattern, I can just write a k here I don't need a CK when the vowel is not short. That is not a short vowel. That's not one vowel followed by a consonant. It makes a short vowel sound, so I don't need CK. That's the only reason when we would use CK, like in the word black. The next one is drawing, and remember that's 2 syllables. It's drawing. So I'm going to take off that second syllable and just focus on draw. Der, that's 2 sounds. Aw, make your D rounded at first, up and then down. Der, that's just an R. And then aw, we're remembering AW. And teacher's going to say she is drawing a picture in art class, and then you're going to remember ing is ing. We're not sounding out our suffixes, we're just remembering them. So remember that one. And you can remember the aw is AW here. The next word is crawl. K, r, you know that blend. Aw, l, k, cr, aw, AW. There's your vowel pattern like paw. There it is. Crawl. If you can tap words out, you hear 4 sounds. That's very easy for you to do. Then you can write that word or encode it. This word is flawless. And again, 2 syllables, flawless. So I'm gonna go with flaw. That's my first syllable, and tap that out. Here's my blend. Fl, 2 sounds, 2 letters. Flaw, here's my aw. And I remember, because I've read it many, many times, that I know it's AW. So make the blend, flaw, fl, and then aw. Unless I'm going to, let me turn my legs back on. There we go. Flawless. I'm just going to write less. That's a suffix, L-E-S-S. I do not need to tap that out. I just want to remember it. This is a floss rule, if that helps you. That means when there's an S on the end, we want to keep that vowel short, and that helps us. I put 2 S's there. The next one is lawn, 3 phonemes. Lawn, lawn, l, aw, n. That's easy, right? Look how many words you can write if you know AW says aw. Okay, I'm going to erase this section. And we'll go into salt, talked, and halls. Okay, so we talked about how AU and AW say aw. AL can say aw too, but you still hear the L. Here's how it goes. Salt. Salt. There's a blend here. It's the LT. But because the A and the L are next to each other, that's going to say aw for you. So write it down. Salt. But in the word, when you decode it, you're reading salt, and you hear that AW sound. Same thing with talked, and that has a suffix, so I'm going to cut off the suffix and just write talk. T, ah, k, talk. T, ah. And you might want to memorize that it's LK here. You don't really hear the L sound, but you know that that is making that aw sound. Then, oh, and don't forget your suffix. If she says a past tense, talked. The next one is halls. And for this one, I'm going to approach it a little differently. I'm going to take off the S, that's my suffix, but I like, when I write the word all, I just want to write that. And this can be a welded sound. In some reading programs, they call this a welded sound. They just put it all together. So I'm going to write it like that, and then I'm going to put the S on the end. It's not a suffix. I'm just calling it a welded sound, where we're going to remember that ALL says aw. And that's it for that one. I put the suffix on the end. So let's go to the last 3 words. The rest of the words were review words, so we're just going to write out these last 3. The next word is water. And I want you to be aware that when W and A are next to each other, they can say an O sounding phoneme. So it's water. It's 2 syllables, water. So wa is w-aw. And there's your aw sound. Remember, A-U or A-W, like as in paw. Well, this is making the aw sound, like as in watermelon or watch, water. It's the A-W-A that makes that aw sound. Wa, ter is t and This is an R control. T, and then ER. Water. And the next one's bought, so this is not anything that we've talked about before. It's O-U-G-H. But remember I said that G-H can be silent, so it's b-ought. It's only 3 phonemes. B. You're gonna start that B here and come down and push forward. Make sure you're writing your B's correctly. Aw is O-U-G-H, and that is helping that say aw. And then t. This is probably the only part you need to memorize. You already know this one and this phoneme. And the last word is thoughtless. So there it is, thought. Lots of letters, but it's really easy. Watch when you write it, you can do it. Thought. Ought. That's only 3 phonemes. Is a digraph, 2 letters, 1 sound. And then aw, O-U-G-H. So you're gonna get to write that in 2 different words. Thought. There it is. Like, I was thinking of you. I had a very good thought. We should go somewhere together. Thought. And then less, you're just going to memorize L-E-S-S. Just going to put a box around it because it's a suffix. I don't need to sound it out. Thoughtless. So this means without thought. So it was thoughtless of me not to bring a gift. That's how it would be used in a sentence. Being without thought. And those are your words for Unit 4, Week 3, where AU and AW say aw, and then there's a few other patterns you can learn for spelling the word aw in words. Good luck.